Boys, I can see it. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. We are finally through the last international break. I think it's the last international break of the season, bros. I'm so hyped. We got some football to talk about. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight is Brad. He supports Charlotte FC. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Gentlemen, what's going on? How are you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic. I'm feeling minty fresh.
Did you just brush your teeth?
I'm in my Mint City kit.
Oh.
Minty fresh. But yes, I did just brush my teeth as well, though, just for the record.
I am lobbying for sponsorship over this tickle I have in my throat because we're going to need somebody to sponsor our brand new cough button that you can hit in radio.
Do you have a cough? Did you set up a cough button for yourself?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, this is if you're watching this and you're listening, you're like, man, this sounds terrible. Why is this dude coughing all this time? You should get in contact with some of the throat lozenge companies. Tell them that we need a sponsor.
I actually remembered that I do have a cough button. Here we go. Testing.
Yeah.
See?
It worked.
See?
It worked. Look at us go.
Wow, live testing of the mute buttons just to make sure they work.
Just rolling it out there. I was gonna make a joke about you, Brad, but the moment's passed, so I'll hold off. But before we get real started, if you're new here, it's the first time you're tuning in, you just stumbled across us. First off, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you could hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, give us a follow, ring the sub notifying bell. If you're on YouTube, drop us a comment. Reach out to us on Twitter. We would love to hear from you. We are in Operation Trick Google, and we want to get to 50 subscribers on YouTube before the end of the football season. So get on your wife's YouTube account or your husband's YouTube account and subscribe to us there because it would really help us. We would really appreciate that. I apologize for that noise that you all just heard. Let me go mute something. But we do something here where, we talk about not wanting to be oh gosh, I'm falling apart. Not wanting to be mildly inconvenienced like I am currently being inconvenienced by my computer. But Sean, what you got? You got for that?
If you don't like, subscribe, rate, review 5-star. What may befall on you is losing your wallet or purse. Only for a brief time, though. Long enough to cancel your card and get another one, and now your card doesn't work for a few days. But then only to find it.
Oh, man.
Oh, that happened to me. That happened to me last summer.
So we're cardless for a few days, boys.
Dang.
Oh.
Does your bank not do like the card shut off feature where you can like go on there and turn it off?
I guess I probably could, yeah, because it might not be active. But cardless for a day or two.
Dang.
But I do have an on-off button. Yeah.
You're gonna have to go get some cash, man. Yes,
and that is part 2 of the reason I'm asking for a sponsorship for the button.
This would be a great segue if we were sponsored by Ridge Wallet. Like half of the YouTube videos I watch on YouTube, like people are like, oh, this is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. You can talk about how awesome this wallet is that you're going to put all your cash into, and it's so convenient. When you got your new card, you had to switch to the Ridge Wallet. This is not a paid endorsement of Ridge Wallet. I've never used it, but Ridge Wallet, hit us up if you want to. I'll say a piece.
info.redcardradio@gmail.com. Hit us up.
Let us listen to the man. But what we've got on offer for you guys tonight, we're going to hit these comments from last week. We are going to talk a little bit about the Premier League, the state of the Premier League, what's going on with the championship, the European slots, and the relegation battle. We'll probably talk a little bit about U.S. men's national team, the 2 games they have played and the 1 game that they have coming up. And that's the final game in the octagonal, I think is what we're calling it now, in CONCACAF World Cup qualification. We'll look forward to the return of the Premier League coming up this weekend and the Champions League coming up next midweek, a week from today. Before we get out of here, so without further ado, I'll start off the comments. Big shout out to Will last week. Joined us on the podcast. I thought it went really well. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us and bring us a little bit of knowledge about the Italian game and giving us your thoughts on the Super League and whatnot. We really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. We like to do these guest spots every so often, generally around the international break when things tend to slow down a little bit. Helps us to interact with some of our supporters and some of our most loyal listeners. So we really appreciate it, and it helps us out tremendously. So first off, big ups to you, Will. Thank you for coming on the podcast last week. But speaking about Will on the podcast last week, he came in, he kind of laid out his rationale and his belief for why the Super League should exist. Joel hit us up in the comments, and his comment was specifically about the Super League. Massively against it personally. Out of the 12 original founding teams, only 5 are left in the Champions League this season. The fact that Spurs and Arsenal were included is a joke as well. Editor's note, rude. Could it be further from the world's best? Why wouldn't Leicester be in it? They won the hardest league in the world just a few years ago. More than Man U, Arsenal, and Spurs could say. It's just a way for the super rich owners to separate themselves and remove the fear of them falling further away from being elite clubs. Parenthetically, too late for that. Glad it's not happening, and I hope it never does, especially in England. Go for it, Brett. You look like you're about to say something.
I mean, his club doesn't need the money. I don't know if my club needs the money yet, so I'm undecided again.
Undecided again. I don't know. Like, Arsenal clearly don't need the money if you compare it to some of the other teams in the Super League. I think that there is a issue right now with European football and UEFA and how things are run and whether or not UEFA, the Champions League, the Europa League are providing the best value in terms of what European football could be. I think that the Super League tried to redress that. It went about it in a not good way, in my opinion. But to me, it kind of seems like the Perez, the Agnellis in the world, like they are going to continue to push for this because they can't catch the Premier League financially for whatever reason. The Premier League I don't know if 2 or 3 leagues can exist at the same financial value that the Premier League brings in terms of like TV revenue and what Sky is willing to pay for.
Of course they can.
You think they can?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's what it's called. Listen to me now. Sell your league better. Like, the Premier League has sold their league for the last 30 years, and this is the result. And now the Spanish League and Italian League and French League and German League want to cry about it.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think the German League cries about it because the German League's...
German League not, but like NBC didn't just all of a sudden, what was it, 2012 or whenever it was, 2009, somewhere around that time. NBC didn't just all of a sudden say, you know what, we're going to buy roller derby and just throw their money at a ridiculous sport, like a ridiculous league. Like, they built this into what it is and was able to pitch it in a boardroom to NBC and Sky and all these other places, these other networks. Like, that's why is that held against? Like, I feel like that is I'm about to go on a tangent now because I feel like that is not fair. That argument of they get so much more money and it's not fair isn't a fair argument when all the other leagues had the same exact opportunity to go get that money and didn't.
So this is when I heard you talking. These are kind of my thoughts on why maybe the Premier League is more marketable than La Liga or Italian Serie A. English is the predominant language spoken across the world, across the globe. Not necessarily in all places in the world, but in terms of if English isn't the first language of a country, it's generally the second language in a country. So in terms of marketability, it's more people understand English than Italian in the world probably, or Spanish in the world. Spanish is probably pretty close. But I mean, you could you could make an argument. I'm not going to, but I think that there could be an argument that like roots back to British colonialism and the spread of the crown across the globe that helped that is still furthering the reach of the Premier League, just because of the fact that it's a product of Britain. So I think that that's a marketability aspect that helps the Premier League in relation to La Liga and Serie A. But the English league has, I mean, like the Premier League was a breakaway league from the league, from the football league, from the football association pyramid 30 years ago. So like it took the breakaway Premier League 30 years to get to this massive point. But it's only in the last couple of years that the money has gotten astronomically different in terms of what the Premier League is garnering compared to La Liga, compared to Serie A. They clearly always pulled in more money than these other leagues, but it's only recently that it's been like twofold what the other leagues get combined. So I don't know.
Actually I heard this today in an argument, not an argument, a discussion about the women's Final Four and discrepancies. And one of the things that they think, the women think, which would help that, is if just like the men's tournament in college basketball, for those who aren't aware, has broken away from the NCAA and is negotiated separately for their TV deals and their revenue and things like that. And that is something that they thought that the women need to be working towards, is breaking away from being a lump package of ESPN buying the women's tournament plus lacrosse plus swimming, like
okay, so
et cetera.
Market
that separately on its own.
Okay.
So in that discussion, someone brought up a point that was said long ago. It's been parroted many times. Nothing gets done until something is sold. And La Liga and Serie A have not done that in a way. Like, you can't have English announcers. You can't have an English broadcast. Like, I'm sure they do. Yeah, like, okay, now you're going to start seeing those viewers, those eyeballs. Get on Twitter and start promoting.
But why as an American would you watch an Italian club or a Spanish club now that Ronaldo and Messi aren't in the league?
Most people say, why is it American when are you watching English football?
Because it's more approachable.
Correct. And if you were to ask people, because people know Ronaldo, know Messi. If they don't know soccer, they know those two names.
True.
Right? Or Neymar, right? They'll know those names for whatever reason. So that's why you hear more people talk about PSG now more than Barcelona when you're talking to people and they talk about sports and soccer, they're talking about the club. Like, there is no big name players. I mean, there are big name players, but there's not that next level celebrity to bring eyeballs to it, right? Like, look through the teams in the English Premier League. Would Coutinho consider Sassuolo? They're in the same position Aston Villa is. Like,
no.
But for real, right. So, I mean, I think even with Super League money being injected, because like Real Madrid and Barcelona have been smart. La Liga as a whole hasn't sold itself well, but Real and Barca and Atleti now have been doing a much, much better job of selling themselves instead of selling the league, where the Premier League is kind of sold as a package. You have your favorite team, but they came together and sold it as a whole, not as pieces. It's not like Bayern, and you might know Dortmund, but you probably only know Bayern for Germany. You probably only know PSG.
Yeah. When we talk about, I don't know how TV rights are sold in Germany. I don't specifically know how they're sold in Italy. But for a long time, individual clubs in Spain were allowed to sell their own TV rights. So Real Madrid and Barcelona just dominated the TV revenue in La Liga. And so the other Spanish teams really had no chance of catching them. I think that La Liga has done away with that, or they're trying to move away from that. Whereas in the Premier League, it's sold as a package, and there is you get rewarded based on your position and how many matches are broadcast. So like it's all pretty. It's significantly more even in the Premier League. Clearly, the big clubs get more money because they're being broadcast more, but like it's still a lot more equitable than in Spain or Italy.
I think you're correct, but I think now they are all.
I think they're
promoted
trying
as
to.
one. I think the last one is Portugal that is still promoted. Like each individual team can do their own TV deals.
To me, it kind of seems like the European Super League is probably going to be continental, not including Britain. Like I think that in the long run, if Perez and Agnelli and the rest of them want to get this off the ground, they're going to have to do it without England. But without England, is the product there to sell? I don't know.
I mean, I think I'd pay to watch Bayern play PSG or Bayern play Real Madrid.
You're probably
every
right.
other week.
I mean, yeah, I see value in that. As a soccer fan, I see value in that.
Correct. But as a non-soccer fan getting into it, and there's an American named Christian Pulisic who plays on a team in England, you're going to watch the English leagues.
Yeah. Like I met a guy.
Right.
I met a guy recently who he's been following soccer for 3 years, and he's a Chelsea fan because Christian Pulisic is on Chelsea. I probed him further, and he's like, "Yeah, if I had done more research, I probably would have chosen Tottenham." So my head exploded talking to this guy. He's a good guy, but his
Are you sure?
His soccer choices were mind-bogglingly bad to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, his first choice is amazing. He just doesn't need to do any more research. I mean, if he does more research and picks Tottenham, like, why? I want to know that. Can you ask him why Tottenham?
When I see him next time.
We're not making much headway because we're still in the first one, but like
it happens.
To put a period on the end of my argument, for you guys to say that of Christian Pulisic on Chelsea and because it's English and now he watches English football, why can't Juve and Barcelona market Weston McKennie and Serginho Dest the same way? Why can't was it Hoffenheim that has John Brooks? Like there's American players all over Europe.
Yeah, but I think you're overrating the American market. Like we're in America, so we think about the American market. The NBC is not what's making the Premier League that much money. It's Sky and
who
are the other ones? The other British broadcasters are the ones that really are driving that price up. There's a lot more money in England than there is in Italy, than Spain for these types of things. But I also think that from like a global scale, having your league operate in the predominant language of the world and the most secondary language in the world, I think is a huge helping point. And there's just a lot more rich owners in the Premier League. Rich owners are buying clubs in England. They're not buying clubs in Italy. They're not buying clubs in Spain. And that's probably just a pile-on effect of the value, which is the Premier League now compared to what it is in La Liga or Italy.
I can't speak for Italy, but billionaires are not flocking to Spain because of how the government treats its billionaires in Spain.
Taxes.
And sending them to jail over not paying said made-up taxes that they just invented. Like, wasn't there like a Lionel Messi thing of like they said he was skimming and there wasn't really much to it?
No, there was a lot to it.
Okay.
What they were doing at the clubs were signing like the images. Like, so it was weird. Like they had essentially two deals with the players. They would sign the players to a small contract, but then they would sign the player's image to a much higher contract, but it would be paid out of some like out of country account. It would be dealt entirely in like where's the tax haven? I forget what it is. Like
Switzerland.
One of the islands.
The something papers. What were they called? Anyway, they were paid like essentially outside of the scope of the Spanish government. And so like when they investigated, they're like, yo, this is BS. Like you can't just pay the image of a person. So, or at least like maybe Barcelona was paying the image of Lionel Messi, but you can't tax an image, right? You can only tax an individual, I guess. So it was shiesty. But we could probably talk about the Super. Well, I mean, if the Super League rears its head again, we'll have to do like a roundtable and get some more opinions in here. But that was Joel's thoughts. We appreciate the comment, Joel. Jimmy, Brady's got a question for you. Are the Stars different in North Carolina? They seem to read much differently than everywhere else.
They read correctly from North Carolina. I don't know about where these other states, what the Stars look like there, but it's written in the Stars in North Carolina and above Stamford Bridge.
Got it. This is in relation to Harry Kane, top 3 center forwards. This is somewhat tough because I don't think we really see center forwards really played a lot in the same way as Shearer or Henry from days past. Benzema, Jimmy can get behind. He thinks he's only gotten better since Ronaldo left. Haaland and Lewandowski to him are still in the top 3. Mbappe he thinks is overrated. And he caveats that saying that he hasn't watched him a lot, but every time he has seen him play, he's done basically nothing and has been hardly involved. And as a hot take, all right, Sean, you ready for his hot take? Brad, you ready for his hot take? Kane greater than Lukaku.
Wow. That's spicy, Jimmy. What were you doing?
It's true. It's a truism.
That's about as spicy as an Oreo. That is fact.
There's very little spice on here, but I think he was hoping to provoke me.
Yeah,
but that's fine. Well, I think I've said Harry Kane's the best forward in England.
So you guys listen to me say this.
I will.
I think Lukaku is a better footballer than Harry Kane, but Harry Kane just produces so much more than Lukaku has recently. Like, I think technically Lukaku's better. He's better with his back to goal. He might not be a better passer. Harry Kane is a better passer, but I think Lukaku's more technical. He's more physical, but you can't argue. Like, Harry Kane is the best center forward in the Premier League. He produces so much. If Lukaku could ever get to a level where he's producing like Harry Kane is, I think Lukaku is a better footballer than Harry Kane. But
I will sum your point up by a point by Brittany, who watched maybe a grand total of 45 minutes of football, and it happened to include Chelsea.
Okay.
And it was, other than saying Lukaku's name is fun. So she's already said that. She liked saying it and then started to recognize him on the field.
She's pro Lukaku, it sounds like.
Yes.
Awesome. I like Brittany already.
Yeah. Her quote was basically, wow. Why is he so big and so fast and so hard to take the ball from?
It's true. It's true.
It's very true.
He's enormous. He is enormous. To be able to move the way he does and be that size is kind of impressive.
Yeah. And Jimmy's final comment, and so this is for you, Sean. And he's good to play a real shootout and play goalie. And he is currently undefeated in penalty shootouts against his 6-year-old son. So, stiff competition there, Jimmy.
That's impressive. 6-year-olds are wow.
I responded to Jimmy. I wanted to let him know that I think, it sounds like we've got a nice little penalty shootout brewing. And I think I'm okay, Sean, if you set all the ground rules. I'll give you whatever you want, and we just go from there. That's my opinion. We'll see what Jimmy says.
We'll sort it out, yeah.
I'll find the field because I think I'm the middle.
Yeah,
or the closest to a middle of the 4 or 5.
It seems like Charlotte should be the nexus.
Yeah, I'm gonna find a field. Hey, Charlotte FC is popping up fields everywhere, little small soccer fields. So we'll have to find one and have our penalty shootout there. Maybe we'll stream that live to YouTube.
We'll have to figure out how to do it. But I'd like to do something silly like that. Will coming in, appreciate it again. Thanks for being on the podcast last week, Will. But after a couple of good results, it would take a screw up of Italian proportions for the U.S. men's national team to miss automatic qualification for the World Cup. That's a great segue into talking about the U.S. men's national team.
It's also a segue into talking about how Italy is also not qualified for the World Cup again.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
That couldn't be well more timed after our argument last week.
Yeah.
On Dumbo Roomba with the El Clasico there getting knocked out of the World Cup.
Yeah, North Macedonia score, and yes, I said that right, North Macedonia score a 92nd minute winner against Italy to knock Italy out of qualification. Leonardo Bonucci had a funny quote because of how incredibly wrong it was. He said, "It's amazing to me that in some of the countries, and I think he was referring to South America, you have teams losing 4 or 5 games and they're still qualifying for the World Cup. But here we are having only lost 1 game and we're out." And you think about that and you're like, oh man, if I take that on face value, like that is messed up. But he forgets entirely about the group stage that they played in and all of the games that they lost in the group stage. like come on, bro. Like, or the games that they failed to win in the group stage. Like, so Bonucci, like, you need to That's a bad take, bro. So yeah, we won't see the Italians in Qatar in December, but maybe they'll come to America in 2026. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of the U.S. men's national team, they have played 2 games so far out of the 3 that they were scheduled to play. First game, we kind of previewed it a little bit last week. It was the trip to Mexico City to take on Mexico at the Azteca. That game ended in a 0-0 draw. Probably a good result for Costa Rica, but not a bad result for either the USA or Mexico. It's certainly not a bad result for the USA. It's maybe a bad result for Mexico because it's at home. So in qualifying, USA has taken 4 points off of Mexico in this round of the octagonal, which is good. I think if you asked me before qualification started, 4 points against Mexico, I think I'd say yes. So, and then the U.S. men's national team beat Panama. What was it, like 5-0, 6-0? I forget what the exact total was, but I think it was 5-0, if I'm not mistaken. Christian Pulisic had a hat trick, and that makes it so the U.S. men's national team have at least secured a play-in game against, I think it's Oceania, if I'm not mistaken, who CONCACAF plays our play-in game against. So what leaves the U.S. men's national team is a game against Costa Rica. I believe it's tomorrow on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's Wednesday.
Thursday. I think it's Thursday.
Thursday, man. It's going to be a quick turnaround to get players back to Europe. But so
no, it's tomorrow. It is tomorrow.
I thought so. So U.S. men's national team go to Costa Rica. Brad, did you pull up the octagonal table? I saw you were pulling stuff up. Do you have the oct table? Okay. So essentially, U.S. men's national team. So Canada's already qualified. Congratulations to Canada. We'll see you at the World Cup. U.S. men's national team are on 22 points. Mexico are on 22 points. And
25 and 25.
25, 25, and 22. Okay, so it's 25, 25 U.S. men's national team and Mexico. And then Costa Rica are on 22 points. So at the bare minimum, U.S. men's national team will get to the play-in game. If they lose to Costa Rica by like a 6-goal margin. So they'd have to lose to Costa Rica by 6 goals for Costa Rica to leapfrog the United States.
I have an idea.
Seems unlikely. What's your idea, Brad?
I have an idea.
Okay, go for it.
Why don't we forfeit?
3-0, just don't show up?
Just take a 3-0, send all the players back to their clubs. I'm here for this. Let's do that.
All right, here's what I'm for. Let's go to Costa Rica and beat them. We can, the United States men's national team can beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica.
Sure.
Let's do it.
As long as they send Christian Pulisic home. Send him back to Chelsea first. Then they can go.
I don't care. Send them all. We can beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica. We should beat Costa Rica in Costa Rica.
We should.
And you know what? We should get to 28 points. Canada's going to take the night off. They'll lose. And we surpass Canada, take the top spot, qualify first in the Oct. That's my plan.
Wouldn't that be some shit? If
that'd be great.
We go down and score like 4 or 5 goals or 4 goals, they lose. That'd be some shit.
I'm for it. Maybe that's written in the stars. I don't know. I'm looking at the ceiling. But
we'll have to check the sky tomorrow night. See what's written there.
So I don't know. I'm pretty.
Rain tomorrow.
Is it gonna rain tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, where you are? I think I saw it sun till Thursday.
Yeah, it's been pretty terrible weather here in Virginia over the last couple of days. It snowed on Saturday. What the hell? Like, come on. It was very typical Virginia weather though. Snow in late March. But yeah, so like that's what's going on with the U.S. men's national team. Very happy, especially after missing out in the last World Cup. Very happy. I think we were playing well. I think things are looking up.
Yeah, Berhalter's got his playing decent. I'm not mad.
Gotta push the button, Sean.
Cough.
You had the cough button, bro. You gotta push it. Brad, I don't want to hear your analysis of the U.S. men's national team because it's just going to be Berhalter's got Pulisic playing well. He's scoring goals. So get out of here with this Chelsea garbage.
I think Gio's been our best player this time.
Do you want me to ask you why you think that? Or just want to leave it at that?
We're just going to leave it at that.
I figured.
We're just going to leave it there.
You tell me Gio's whole name?
Gio Reyna.
I think he's looking for his first full name.
What, Giovanni?
I just was checking.
Either that or he expected you to butcher Reina, which is like a historically important U.S.
It's
men's
Giovanni
national
Reina.
team. Yeah, it is. You're right.
There we go.
Brad, I'll take the bait. I think Matt Turner has been the most important player for the U.S. men's national team in this qualification cycle.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's move on. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
All right. Let's talk about the Premier League.
Unless it's Cameron Carter-Vickers.
I guess we are doing it anyway.
Did he even get a call up?
No, he did not. I don't even think he's called up to Tottenham.
So let's talk about the Premier League. We've nothing's changed.
He's like 25, so there's no call ups for Tottenham.
Nothing's changed in the Premier League table. Manchester City still in first position. Liverpool still in second position. 1 point separate them. Same number of games played, so that's getting spicy. Chelsea still in third. Arsenal still in fourth. Spurs are still in fifth. United still in sixth. West Ham, Wolves, Villa, Leicester, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, and the final 5 spots, we got Leeds in 16th, Everton in 17th, Watford are in 18th, Burnley are in 19th, and Norwich City are in 20th. What we want to do with the Premier League tonight is kind of look at these 3 specific races that are going on. We've got the championship between City and Liverpool. We've got Champions League qualification, Europa League qualification, Conference League qualification between Chelsea through Wolves, arguably, those teams in there. And then we got the relegation battle. Probably not Leeds, they've gotten hot, but Leeds, Everton, Watford, Burnley, Norwich. So what I've kind of done is, Brad and Sean, I've sent you guys pictures of all of the remaining schedules for City, Liverpool, so on and so forth. All the teams that are important here. So when we look at the remaining schedule for these teams, hold on a second, let me get it pulled back up. Okay, here we go. So big games, of course, that are still remaining for City and Liverpool. They play each other on April 10th. Like that could be title deciding. But for City, that's their only big 6 team. Difficult games, maybe West Ham, maybe Newcastle. But like they also have to play Wolves. Wolves can be a difficult team to play. But if we think about like how difficult their schedule is remaining, it doesn't seem overwhelmingly difficult, right? If we look at Liverpool, Liverpool, of course, have to play City. They have to play United. They have to play Everton. Now, I know Everton are a dumpster fire, but it's still the Merseyside derby. They also have to play Newcastle. They have to play Spurs and also Wolves. So it looks like Liverpool has a more difficult run-in to the end of the season. How do you think that's a fair analysis between those 2 teams?
I think if Liverpool makes it through their next 2 games, I think they coast. They're coasting.
So you think you think if Liverpool beat Watford and beat City, they win the title?
Oh, I'm sorry. The 2 games after. I didn't even look at Watford because.
Okay, so skipping Watford, you think if they beat City
I think if they did City and they beat United, I think they win the title.
Okay. So that would only put them 2 points above City. Like you think they're not dropping any more points, or you think they're just matching City at that point?
I think they'll end up matching City. If one of them might lose a game and they're like, "Oh my gosh, it's interesting," then the other one's going to lose.
You don't think Spurs are going to go get a result at Liverpool at Anfield?
No.
Sean's not even engaging with that question. He's not taking that bait.
There's levels here. Look, Conte wants to play Chelsea to see what Spurs level is. I don't think he wants to go anywhere near Liverpool to find out what that level is.
No, the Liverpool do not wear baby blue and play in an empty stadium, so we're not winning that
one. All right. I mean, so you guys are hot on Liverpool. Do you guys think Liverpool's going to win the title?
Like I said, I think it depends on the City game, which obviously should be a good game. Assuming they win City, yes, because United might stand a chance because it's an old rivalry. It's Yankees, Red Sox, but I don't think United have the character to beat Liverpool.
All right. Liverpool, United play a draw. City and Liverpool play a draw. So no one gains any points. Who wins the title? You think City win in that position, Brad?
Let me take one more look. Yeah.
Sean? You were shaking your head a minute ago when I asked that question. So you think City's going to win the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because City are going to smash Liverpool 4-1.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
We gotta write that down here. We gotta write that down so we can see when we get to.
I mean, it's
when
next
we
weekend.
get to this game week.
Yeah,
But no, it's 2 week. Yeah.
Well,
it'll be on the next pod.
Yeah, we'll preview
they're
next week.
They're taking old horse teeth down.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well, all right. I mean, yeah, if City beat Liverpool, then it seems like the title race is over.
Sad.
It'll only be 4 points, but it will seem like a big 4 points because they'd have to have City drop 2 points in 2 games, essentially, which seems unlikely.
I'm just tired of Klopp complaining.
Klopp.
I'm just tired. I'm just tired of him complaining. Tired of his face. Just get out of here.
So it's funny you say that because Pep has won more serially than Klopp has. Like if you think about it, Pep has won more Premier League titles than Klopp has. He's won generally more titles.
I don't think Pep has won the crying award yet. That's still firmly in the Klopp hands.
Okay, interesting. So you think Klopp's face is ugly?
Oh, Pep's right behind because he complains his fair share. Just Klopp complains more.
All right.
Tries.
I don't know who's gonna. I mean, like it's clearly gonna come down to the City Liverpool game. Like I think that that's gonna be a title decider for me. If it's drawn out, if it's drawn, I don't. I mean, clearly Liverpool can win the title, but I don't know if they will. I still think City is gonna win it personally, but
I think that's a good City result.
What do you mean?
City, if it's a draw, that's what City is hoping for, is a draw.
Oh, okay. I mean, I think City's hoping for a win.
On a down week, we should put together.
It's empty ad.
I'm just not participating with this done argument. I think on a down week, we should put together the managerial award for biggest crier.
Okay, wow. This is serious for Sean.
Yeah.
Is there a specific? Was there a specific moment that Klopp hurt you?
Not hurt me. He hurt the hearts of all fans when he could just bitches about everything.
What do you not like about his arguments? Like, what do you? I'm legitimately curious.
We Liverpool have to play a lot of games in a short amount of time.
I think all managers complain about that.
Okay, grow up.
So, do you not find any value in his argument that the Premier League is damaging their brand by playing games the way that we do?
No.
Okay,
because you run around for an hour and a half.
Oh, it's more than just running around for an hour and a half.
I mean, when you just think it out, like it's just running around for an hour and a half. It's not like you're working a 12-hour shift, Klopp. Like, calm down,
bro. It's like, no, that's a horrible take.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's off and on sprinting for an hour and a half. It's pushing and shoving. It's sliding. It's diving. It's lunging. It's
okay. Go take a nap. Like, get over it. You play in 2 days. You're fine.
Wow.
I hate that argument.
Do you get mad at NBA teams when they complain about back-to-backs?
Yes. You're just bouncing a ball for a couple of hours. Calm down. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
This is such a baseball fan take. This is such a baseball fan take.
This just in. Sean is shut up and dribble. Team shut up and dribble.
No, I'm not shut up and dribble.
I'm joking.
You want to take the night off? Take the night off. But I don't want to hear bitching about it.
All right.
Like, get out of here. Oh, we have to play 2 nights in a row. Okay.
Man. Okay. I
hear you because they're paid millions and millions and millions of dollars to go play these games.
No, I'm not mentioning their pay. No, they're well compensated for well-deserved compensated. I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah, no. I don't think I think Brad's making that same argument.
Yes, but
I'm not bringing the pay in here.
Like this is not baseball where you stand in the field for 3 hours and then you go take a shower, then you go stand in the field for 3 hours. You run the bases 4 times instead of 4 sprints in 2 minutes.
Yeah, like I I don't know this to be specifically true, but soccer is probably one of the most physically demanding sports on your body in terms of like what's required of your body. And Klopp's main argument, as I understand it, is that like all the other major leagues have adopted 5 substitutions to protect their players. Why hasn't England? You're damaged. Like the best players in the league can't play as frequently because they're playing more minutes on a whole on average. And like honestly, the way the Premier League schedules games is actually stupid. Like it's like observably dumb when they do certain things. It's amazing to me that I disagree with your take about how quickly players need to be able to recover.
No, he needs to take his stupid glasses and go somewhere.
Wow.
All right.
What if he came to Tottenham?
No, I don't want him.
You wouldn't take Klopp because of his personality?
I got to listen to him cry 3 times a week. Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
You haven't heard Conte cry 3 times a week?
Yes.
No, Conte just points out facts. Like we are good and we need players. Like
so does Klopp.
Facts.
All right. I mean, sure. I think that you're going to get flamed in the comments. I think Jimmy and Joel and Will are coming for you because of that.
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. That's
100%. All right. Shall we slide down? Sean, does Tottenham overtake Arsenal for 4th? Because Chelsea's got 3rd spot. I don't think that's really an argument unless somebody wants to try to make one.
So okay, let's look at this. So like Chelsea are in 3rd on 59, Arsenal in 4th on 54. Same number of games played. Spurs are in 5th on 51 points, having played one more than both of them. United are in 50 points, same number of games played as Spurs. West Ham and Wolves are 48 and 46 points respectively, having played 2 more games each than Chelsea and Arsenal. So it seems to me that West Ham and Wolves have no chance at Champions League spots. Is that are we willing to agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we look at United and Spurs, so United are 4 points off 4th, 1 game more. Spurs are 3 points off, one game played more. Now Spurs have to play Arsenal. United have to play Arsenal. I don't necessarily think that 3rd is a foregone conclusion for Chelsea, Brad. If Arsenal beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, the gap is only 2 points, and that is a big ask. I'm not saying it's not, but Arsenal have had a much better record at Stamford Bridge recently than 10 years ago. So we have gotten results at Stamford Bridge recently. Our team is playing exceptionally well right now. So I don't think it's a walk in the park for Chelsea.
I mean, I think by then we have our new owners, or we know who the new owners are, and the sanctions are starting to be lifted.
I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters.
I think Chelsea are like, you have the 1A tier, which is City, Liverpool. I think Chelsea are clearly like the 1B or 2A. I think Arsenal, Spurs, United, I think in that order is probably correct, but I see them as a clump. I don't see any marginal, like any big differences between the 3 clubs.
Okay.
Maybe that's rose-colored glasses because I'm a Chelsea fan, but I still don't see that.
Here's the difference. I don't know the Arsenal run, but we go home Newcastle, which I'm glad that's home with Newcastle's form. Away Villa, home Brighton, away Brentford, home Leicester. Like
those are all eminently winnable games.
Other than Villa away, probably not the easiest win right now with their form, but other than that, the 2 hard games we get at home. And then it's Liverpool.
Newcastle and Leicester is what you're saying?
Yeah, Newcastle and Leicester. Like they're home games. So the next 5 are winnable, and what I bet is going to happen is Arsenal is going to be in between Sunday, May 15th, Burnley, and Sunday, Norwich,
It's going to be the week
Sunday the
before.
22nd.
It's going to be the week before. It's going to be the Wednesday.
After Liverpool.
It's going to be Wednesday the 10th, or Wednesday the 11th. That's my money. My money is Wednesday the 11th.
I think they would do it if we're right there neck and neck. I don't think they would do it right after Liverpool. They would do it right after Burnley, so that Tottenham can play Arsenal, rest. Because we go Burnley and Norwich, the last two after Liverpool.
So taking your logic into account, that would require the Premier League to care about Liverpool essentially, care about Spurs more than they care about Arsenal, right? That's your argument. If you want to look at this, so the way that the Premier League rescheduled the Arsenal-Chelsea game, they plopped it in between Southampton and United for Arsenal. So like they didn't care. They didn't care at all about Arsenal. I don't think that they're going to care at all about Liverpool.
The only reason I picked the main reason I picked that weekend is not caring about Spurs. It's more so if we stay 4-5, having it the last week of the season brings the most eyes to that game.
I think,
and that's what they're about.
I think that the same number of eyes watch that game the week before or the week after, the week that you're talking about or the week I'm talking about. I think the Premier League would rather be able to get their marketing material all set for Championship Sunday and like talk about like and do that ad nauseum for a whole week than to be like, well, there's still some things up in the air because Spurs and Arsenal are getting ready to play. So my money's on the 11th. Your money's on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
I don't have.
Before we play you guys,
preference
we
either.
also play Southampton. Hey, before we play you guys, we also play Southampton. We have a game break in there because we're not playing Leeds because of the FA Cup.
Oh, so you guys have like 2 whole weeks before you play Arsenal, a week and a half.
Yeah,
Damn.
and
11 days.
Crystal Palace will be without their Player of the Year and Zaha.
That's ridiculous. I didn't realize that you guys have 11 days between Southampton and us.
We also have to play a semifinal in the FA Cup. And we have Champions League. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
okay, so you'll still have games.
We'll still have games. Like, it's not.
All right.
We just won't have any Premier League games. I thought it was funny that we'll both play Southampton beforehand.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then that's less bad. I don't know. I think if
we'll
you
literally play 3 games before. We'll literally play 3 games beforehand.
So who do Spurs still have to play? They have to play Arsenal, Newcastle, Leicester, Liverpool. But I mean, like, you guys have a lot of winnable games. Arsenal, we have to play Palace, which will be a difficult game. Chelsea, United, West Ham, Newcastle. So like, I think Arsenal have a lot more difficult games than Spurs coming up. But I think Arsenal are in a much better position in terms of like the quality of their squad than Spurs right now. It's certainly not. It's not implausible that Spurs catch Arsenal, but
here's my my official prediction.
Okay,
let's do it.
Tottenham finished 6th.
Okay,
that's what Tottenham does, baby. We got winnable games down the stretch. Not only are we not catching Arsenal, we're finishing behind United.
Wow.
Do any of you guys think United have a chance to get to 4th? So let's look at them. They have to play Leicester, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Okay, yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
No.
Like, as far away as they are, even if they beat
at least 2 of those,
even if they beat Arsenal, I still don't think, and I don't think that United will win at the Emirates. I think Arsenal will beat United at the Emirates. Arsenal should have beat United at Old Trafford if it weren't for a couple boneheaded mistakes. But I don't think Arsenal lose to United at the Emirates. And yeah, United are getting slapped by Chelsea. They're probably getting slapped by Crystal Palace on the final match day. They're getting like shellacked 10-0 by Liverpool. Like, Liverpool is going to put it on them. So, hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Everton beat United. But yeah, I don't see a world where United finish 4th.
I'm here for a Skinny Frank redemption story.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's long shot for Arsenal to catch Chelsea. I don't think it's impossible. Certainly a long shot. But I think Arsenal are going to hold on to 4th personally.
I think the top 4 teams are set. I think 1 and 2 might fluctuate depending on that game. And I think Liverpool can pull it off.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I would be cautiously optimistic if I was a Spurs fan, and maybe that would be my downfall.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, probably.
That's why Sean's morale over the course of this year is just gone downhill.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Spurs have a legit shot to finish fourth. And it's funny that it seems like Spurs are in such a tumultuous position, but like they've been within striking distance all year. And like even when we were talking about sacking Nuno, like it was like they're only 3 points off of fourth or something like that. So I don't know. Conte has you guys playing well recently. You guys have gotten a couple results recently. What's your form look like? Hold on, let me get this wider. You guys are
4 wins,
four
one
wins
loss.
and a loss. Like, so same as Arsenal. I don't know. I think if you guys keep winning, you heap a lot of pressure on a very young Arsenal team. And that North London derby on May 11th is going to be huge. So let's talk about relegation, because we've spent a lot of time on everything else. So let me just quickly flip some of these things that I have up. Brad, you want to talk about the table positions for me?
Yeah. So I think we all are in agreement that Norwich is going to be relegated as they are currently 20th, with the most games played.
Yeah, it seems it seems impossible for them to save. Sorry.
I think so. Burnley has 2 games in hand, but they also have the least amount of wins out of all Premier League teams.
Okay.
So I think they may be going down as well. Watford are 18th with 22 points, also playing the maximum amount of games. Everton has 2 games in hand and sit 25 points, which is 3 points above the drop zone. Leeds on 30 games is at 29 points. I think as Leeds gets healthy, I think they're going to be out of this race. So I think it's going to come down to Everton or Watford.
So interesting. Personally
is where I'm at.
I saw a statistic that recently said that Leeds have a higher XG, which is expected goals, under Jesse Marsch than they did under Bielsa at the end. I don't know if that's a product of being more healthy or a different style of football, but it does look like Jesse Marsch has them turned around. I think Leeds are not going to be caught by any of these teams.
I mean, you get Bamford back, you get Calvin Phillips back playing. I think that's the 2 biggest things. If Bielsa could have held on for them to come back, it rights the ship, because Calvin Phillips is could play at a top 6 Premier League club, and we probably wouldn't bat a huge eye with him getting minutes there.
Now, I mean, if
he slots into Tottenham, he probably slots into Arsenal. He might make the rotation in Chelsea.
It's funny how you did that. If you look at Leeds' schedule, though, they have to play Chelsea, City, and Arsenal. A lot of difficult games. Now, we've been talking ad nauseum about the difficult strength of schedule that Everton have. They have to play Crystal Palace. They have to play Watford, which is levels, West Ham, United, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Leicester.
Arsenal. Like Everton have a disastrous run-in. So so even just looking at that, they can easily lose to Crystal Palace. If Watford beat them, which Watford will need to do, that's at Vicarage Road. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Everton are safe.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think it's going to come down. Let's see, Watford. How many level games do they have?
So Watford have to play Liverpool. That's a loss. Leeds, that's levels. So who knows?
Yeah, Brentford, levels.
They lose to City, for sure.
Yeah.
Watford, Burnley's levels. If we're saying that Everton are going to lose to Crystal Palace, Watford are probably going to lose. Leicester and Chelsea. So Watford's run-in is not much more forgiving.
But they have 4 games that are level, like we said, are levels, right? That could be wins.
1, 2.
Everton has 1, 2. Yeah, Brentford 3.
3 if you count Brentford.
Yep. So we should, because Brentford is the next spot up with only 1 point away.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get relegated. Let me be clear. I don't think Brentford falls enough to have this discussion with Everton and Watford. But this might be tight. Everton might be, streak might end.
So if you have to choose a team, all right. So I think we all agree that Norwich and Burnley are going down. It seems so implausible. Like Turf Moor Sean, even Turf Moor Sean can't be that high on Burnley. Granted, they have it seems like a much
3 games in hand. 3 games in hand.
Yeah, but so 3 games in hand. They have to play Villa, which Villa are much better than Burnley are right now. They have to play City. Everton is a levels game. Norwich is a levels game. They have to play West Ham, Southampton, Wolves. Watford is a levels game. Villa again, Spurs, and Newcastle. Like Burnley have a lot of tough games as well.
You guys are not calling Newcastle levels.
Not anymore.
They're right.
Not
They're
anymore.
right there.
Okay,
they're right there.
But look at the form over the last 15 match weeks. Show me the trends of form over the last 15 match weeks. And
I'm just saying, they're right there.
I think Newcastle have only lost these past 2 games in all of 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
2022 is pretty short.
But, well, I mean, it's 3 months. What do you mean? January, February, March.
Oh, damn, you're right.
I guess 3 months.
How are we already in April? What's going on here?
I don't know. Oh, my bad. They did lose at the beginning of the FA Cup.
So
that they haven't taken L in the league.
Everton. Are you hot on Burnley then, Sean? Do you think like I know the meme is that you're hot on Burnley, that you think that they're going to finish wherever their games in hand are, but
I'm just saying mathematically they can get to 15th.
Okay, sure. Control. You said that with a straight face. I
had to do the math.
Yeah, so. Fair enough. That's always dicey. It's always dicey.
Yeah.
Sean math, Sean geography, you never know what you're going to get.
Start pulling science around here and see what happens.
So who do you got?
Are we calling it?
Make a call, Brad. Burnley or who's staying up? Who's going? Just give me the 3 who's going down. Norwich,
Burnley, Watford.
Okay, Sean.
Skinny Frank keeps him up.
Who do you think's going down?
Everton.
You think Everton's going down?
Get out of here. Merseyside derby's postponed for 2 matches.
I agree with Sean. I think Watford are gonna pull it out.
2023, no Merseyside.
With their 3rd manager of the year?
That's Watford's gig. They just fire managers. I think that they're gonna survive. I think that the Everton's run-in is just too punishing. And like Everton, like the wheels have fallen off at Everton. Like it seems like
they just got a big win over Newcastle with a red.
You talking about the 92nd minute winner?
Alex 99th minute winner?
Whatever. Well, yeah, the 99th minute winner.
After going down 10 men?
I don't rate a 99th minute winner for anything, personally.
Just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying too. I agree with Sean. I think Everton are going to slip it and fall out of this. But I guess we'll see over the next 10 or so weeks. But speaking of that, more specifically, let's talk about the games that we have coming up this weekend. On Saturday, Watford are away to Anfield. That's a great way to start after this conversation. So Liverpool hosts Watford on Saturday. Brighton hosts Norwich. Burnley hosts City. Chelsea hosts Brentford. Leeds hosts Southampton. Wolves host Aston Villa. United hosts Leicester. On Sunday, we've got West Ham hosting Everton. Spurs hosting Newcastle. Rounding out the weekend, we've got Palace hosting Arsenal on Monday. So what games interest you that weekend, guys? What's the most interesting game for you guys?
Probably Leeds Southampton.
You think so?
Will be my surprise. It will be my surprising pick of the week. If you can only watch one game this week, I think I'm going Leeds Southampton.
Okay. I think the most fun game to watch is going to be Wolves Villa. I think that Wolves
defensive ass Wolves.
What? Yeah.
Defensive Wolves.
Defensive Wolves against
the 4th best defense in the league, and they have less goals than Leeds. Yeah. They have less goals than Brentford. They have less goals than Newcastle. They have less goals than Southampton.
Bro, I don't necessarily think that high goal scoring games are fun. Clearly they're exciting, but I think that tense, close games between teams that are near each other in the table, I think that that's going to be a very good game. What do you think about this Spurs Newcastle game, Sean?
I was going to say I don't normally do this, but my games of the week, I'm going to include a secondary one.
Okay.
Spurs Newcastle and Arsenal Palace. Arsenal Palace away at Palace is an important game, and this neck and neck fight here, especially with that game in hand against each other looming.
Yeah.
Every game counts, and Spurs get Newcastle at home, which is great, but Arsenal have to go to Palace, which is not easy.
Yeah.
No Zaha.
I mean, that helps, but it's still,
I'm
it's
with
still
you.
not an easy
It's still
game.
a very, very difficult game because I don't think how Vieira has them playing is Zaha is not the main focus anymore. I mean, he's clearly a benefit and can change games.
I mean,
and missing him hurts, but
how many
I still
times,
think this is an interesting game.
How many times have we talked about Palace and been like, they played really well, but they just didn't pull it out? So, like, I'm under no illusions that Arsenal are guaranteed to win at Palace. It's going to be an incredibly difficult game. But I think it's going to be an incredibly difficult game in the same vein that away to Wolves was a difficult game. And we were able to get a victory there. Like, I'm not saying that we're going to beat Crystal Palace. I think Arsenal have the quality to beat Crystal Palace, but it's going to be a difficult game. And I'm very excited about that game. I think it's going to be a great game too.
What is your Premier League pick of the week?
Premier League pick of the week.
What game is Mr. Tiffany not going to watch this week? I mean, going to watch this week. Going to watch this week because subscribers, viewers, you guys deserve it. What he picks, he should watch.
Loyal listeners.
It should be Burnley getting boat raced by City.
I don't think that's going to be the right one.
No, because
I think we got different levels here.
That's a fun one. That's a good old dad nap right there.
That is true. But the pick of the week, right? Like, so my goal is to pick, like, this is the meme game, the game that's teams that are terrible that have to play against each other.
This one's easy.
This one's super easy.
This is super easy this week.
It's Brighton Norwich.
The essence of the James pick of the week is it's the game that you least likely want to watch. I don't see how that's not Burnley City.
No.
It's Brighton Norwich.
So
he's trying to pick levels here. He still picks levels. It's just what games compose the worst teams or the least interesting games?
Yeah.
With terrible teams. It's never a top 6 team.
Game. That bitch is going to be 7-0 at halftime.
So yes, but the problem with that is it's an obvious blowout. We're looking for a game that has potential to be good, but just between teams that are not high in the table, that have deficiencies that are maybe not deficiencies against the other bad teams in the league.
Deficiencies that prevent them from playing football well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And Brighton's fall has been majestical.
I'm looking for the teams that are like limping because they've fallen down the stairs 3 times. Yeah, it's Brighton Norwich for sure. Norwich are a dumpster fire. I still trying to figure out a way if I can math Brighton into getting relegated.
Wasn't that your original pick on the Sheets of Integrity?
Yeah, I picked Brighton to get relegated on the Sheets of Integrity. So I'm still trying to math that out. Maybe in 5 weeks after we have this exhausted relegation conversation, we'll come back to it and Brighton are close. I'll be like, "Whoa, I'm vindicated." But yeah, it's clearly James's pick of the week. If you can only watch one game, you should watch Brighton and Norwich with me Saturday at 10 a.m. Or maybe later on replay or something like that.
The next day after 5 o'clock, East Coast time,
something like that. The only other football that we got coming up, the Champions League comes back a week from now. So on Tuesday of next week, we've got Benfica hosting Liverpool, City are hosting Atletico, and then on Wednesday of next week, so a week from tomorrow, Chelsea hosting Madrid and Villarreal hosting Bayern Munich. Those are going to be some good ties.
I mean, those Wednesday games, I don't see a lot there. Bayern's going to smack Villarreal.
The Chelsea Madrid tie is going to be really good.
We've never lost when the games mattered.
Okay, sure. Yes. Chelsea Madrid's going to be a good tie. It's going to be a good tie.
5-0.
I think Liverpool ought to just dumpster Benfica. They ought to. I don't know if they will. City Atletico could be good, depending on. I mean, like, clearly Atletico is going to come and park the bus and like play ultra defensively as they do against City in Manchester. So it'll be interesting to see if what Pep can do.
I mean, does he here's the question is, does he let City do what they do, or does he try to outcoach himself?
So I was going to think about this. Like, I should have gone and looked to see what Pep's record is against Simeone.
It's got to be pretty close, probably, because Simeone's style is like stifling.
Yeah, but I wonder when they both managed against each other in La Liga when Pep was at Barcelona, what it looked like at that point. I don't know.
Barca teams were a different level. Like, they're one of the greatest teams ever in any sport.
Sure, but like, what can you could probably say that about almost every Pep team, because wherever he goes, he draws players, and now that he's at City, he has unlimited funds. So his Bayern teams were some of the best teams in the world. Like, yeah. So like saying that is just like synonymous with Pep Guardiola. So I don't know. I think that Villarreal Bayern, I don't know if that will be a good tie. Bayern Munich ought to.
I don't think so.
I think Bayern Munich ought to handle that one pretty well. But my boy Unai, who knows? Maybe Unai Emery, does it to him.
Figure some magic out.
So, yeah.
I could have managed those Bayern teams to Bundesliga titles. I'm 100% confident in it.
Because you would just say, "Go play football."
Me too.
You'd be like, "You guys are better than them. Just go play."
You would Ole it. You would Ole Gunnar it. All right, just go play football. Make magic happen.
Lewandowski, you're the 50 goals.
You're the German national team. Just go do what you did up there.
Oh, but yeah, okay. That's all we got.
It's the German national team plus David Alaba, and that's pretty much. That was pretty good.
You're forgetting that.
No. Those teams. No, he was on Dortmund back then.
Okay, you talk previous Bayern.
Yeah, I'm talking about those teams. Yeah.
Didn't Pep coach Lewandowski at Bayern? I'm almost certain he did. Maybe he did. I don't think
so. Was he at Barca first?
Yeah, he went from Barcelona to Bayern Munich to City.
Then he might have. Yeah, then he might have got a little bit of
a year or two, maybe. I don't know. Brad's furiously Googling it to find out the answer. So I'm gonna.
He has.
There we go.
So maybe a year or two. Maybe a year or two ago, or maybe a year or two of Loa.
2016, Lewandowski was there,
and so was.
So was Pep. Yeah, because he came that year to City. Yeah.
Perfect. Vindication for me. But yeah, okay, that's all we got. If you're still listening, first and foremost, we really appreciate it. If you haven't already, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, hit us up on Twitter, leave us a comment in the YouTube chat, and we will get back to you. Brad, you look like you're going to interrupt me.
If you guys want to talk about getting on the pod, make sure you join the Discord server. We'll leave it in the notes too. So yeah, make sure you join us here. We have some fun.
Yeah, and that's another great way to interact with us. Is on our Discord server. We're very active there. So love to talk about football in the moment there. That's kind of how we talk about games that are kind of going on. But yeah, we would really love if you would hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to us. We're trying to get to 50 subs on YouTube before the end of the season. So tell your friends if you're already subbed to be like, yo, give these guys a pity sub on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. Operation
We're here for it.
Maybe also sponsor.
Yeah, we're here for pity sponsors as well. But as always, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That right there at KSBradG. Apparently, you can talk to him about Chelsea or Charlotte FC.
Man City 2 in a row.
Still lost to DC United. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. And I am at James Tiffany on Twitter. We collectively are at Redcard_radio. And guys, I just realized for the entire recording, I haven't had our Twitter handles overlay visible on the podcast. I'm going to turn it on right now at the very end because I can't have it on when we have 4 people on the podcast, and I forgot to turn it back on for this one.
Nice.
Man, the struggle is real. But until next week, when we can talk about the results in the Premier League, we will see you guys. Have a good night.